In the last video, we ran Wan 2.1 through Pinocchio.
So what you're saying is my father was Pinocchio?
Technically, Zero, your grandfather would be Pinocchio, making Wan 2.1 your father. I think I found a way to retire Pinocchio, guys. Today, let's get started with Wan2GP.
Seems to be a lot of wands lately. Zero, you're something else. That's what your girlfriend says.
Okay, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up a Conda Prompt, a virtual environment. But as you can see, when you do that, you start out, you're in your C drive. So the first thing I want to do is let's take a look at what this video really is about today. So we're going to go take a look at my computer. As you can see, C drive, I'm only running a Xeon 2123 CPU, and we have 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So I think the direction of the channel is heading more in terms of how can you do this and run AI generations. So I just wanted to start out and show you that what we're trying here is we have put a new NVMe drive in, because I only have 1 terabyte on my C drive that has my Windows. So we've been trying to run Wan2GP on, and I actually did download it on the C drive. But the problem is every time you run one of the apps, it's going to load the models, the files, all of the supporting files onto your C drive. And pretty soon you're gonna fill that up. So I've put a 4 terabyte the G drive, and this I'm showing you that my card is only an RTX 3060 Ti with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. But today's experiment, we're going to try this for the first time. I can't find information about it. I tried in ChatGTP to see how to run a virtual environment, not in the C environment, but in the G drive, because I've recently installed a new NVMe with 4 terabytes for my G drive. So this is kind of the experiment that we're going to run today. Is we're going to see if we can download and install and get working Wan2GP on an independent drive other than your Windows drive. And I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be should be pretty straightforward according to so you can see my C drive is 1 terabyte, and there's really not a lot of room on that. So what I want to do is show you that when I run right here, there's in this F drive, there's 353 gigabytes of models in the models folder. That's using Comfy UI. So your C drive with 1 terabyte with the Windows is not going to hold up too well once you start running multiple applications of that Wan2GP. So the experiment today is to try to get this installed on another drive. So far I haven't figured out how to separate the models with this application. Wan2GP doesn't keep the files stored like Comfy UI does, where you can separate. And if you know how to do that, you can leave it in the comments. We found some information on where some of the LoRa's are kept through another video that I'm going to link in the, actually I'm going to link 2 videos in the comments section, or in the information section on the videos, because I want to say thanks to both of the people that helped me get this far. But this is kind of an experiment that I've searched and really we're going to find out together today whether this will. Alright guys, so today we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm not even sure how this is going to work, but we'll know in the end. What we've done is, for storage space, I've installed a new NVMe M2 drive. I'm calling it my G drive. It's an SSD with 4 terabytes. So the reason we're doing this is because my C drive is filling up from running these AI apps. So Wan2GP today, we're going to try to install it on that new G drive so that it isn't installed on our Windows C drive. Okay, so the first thing, even if you're installing this and you're using these instructions for your C drive, you need Anaconda downloaded on your system. It can be in your Windows, it doesn't matter where it is. So here's the link in the instructions. You're going to copy and paste that and go to Anaconda and get the download and download it for your system. And you're also going to need Git installed, and here's the link for that. I've already done that, so we're hopping right on down to step 3. So when you start a Conda Prompt, a virtual environment, it's going to come out to the C drive. This is going to be your base. Just when you download this Anaconda and you get downloaded, go to a prompt for Anaconda. It's going to come up to base C /users / whatever your username is. So what we've figured out for this through a little bit of research, which probably to a Python code person it would sound pretty stupid, but for the normal person, just type G, whatever the drive is. We're using that G drive, G:, hit enter. Now our base is in that G drive. So everything we're going to do today in the video, we're going to do in this environment right here. So the first thing you want to do when you get to whatever drive you're putting it, whether it's up here, you can do it after this greater than sign if you're not switching to another drive. But today our experiment is to put it on the G drive. So the next thing you want to do is you want to download the Git clone. So right here in step 4, see how step 3 is your base, you're here. If you're switching to G, then just type G:, here and you'll be in G like I am. So then you want to copy and paste this. You're going to copy this and you're going to paste this right here. Okay. And then we're going to hit enter. And that's going to pretty much start the video here today. But I'm going to give you some kind of file. Either I might give you a link to a blog entry on my website with this page, or I'll give some kind of universal text file. But somehow I'll give you these links so that you can just copy and paste them. And in the video, I might not I might not do that. I might type them in, but just follow this list. The first step is this. We have to get this Wan2GP Git file onto our system. Okay. Wan2GP.git file. And we're going to hit enter. And that's going to download the Wan2GP. And it's going to make a folder for it as well. There it is. So now we're going to change the directory. I'm going to type cd Wan2GP to get into that folder that it made for us when it downloaded. Okay, now that we're in that folder, we're going to create our virtual environment with Conda. And we're going to type and you can see that didn't work out very good, did it? Doesn't recognize it when you type it in backwards. It's actually Conda create. So when I catch up here on the video, there we go. Now we figured it out. Conda create space -n space Wan2GP. Come on. Really struggling with the typing. Space Python =, 3.10.9 space -y. Now hit enter. It should create a virtual environment called Wan. Which it did. Okay, now we have to activate that environment. Once it's done downloading. Okay. So it says right there, it shows us to activate this environment, use Conda to activate Wan2GP. So that's the next step, is to type Conda space activate space Wan2GP. And that'll get us into the virtual environment called Wan2GP. There you go. Now you can see that the parentheses have changed from our base environment to our Wan2GP virtual environment. And now that we're in that, we're going to install PyTorch and Cuda. So pip install, and then this file is in the instructions as well. You can copy and paste this, but pip install torch 2 = 2.6.0 space torch vision space torch audio space two hyphens. If I could spell audio, gotta have a space, 2 hyphens, index hyphen URL. And then I think I'm going to go grab the HTTPS file from the directions here. Should have grabbed the whole statement because it's here, right up here. So we're going to grab this URL, copy and paste that. You can just copy and paste the whole command. There we go. And then hit enter. And here's your first level of patience. Depending on your download speed, this is going to take a while. So I'm going to pause the video here at some point and come back to it when this is finished. Okay, so we're back. This is done. It took quite a while. So the next thing we have to do is we have to install the requirements text. So we're going to just checking to make sure that's where we're at. Yeah, we just ran the PyTorch. So now the next step is we want to pip install space -r Requirements.txt, and that's going to download all of the files. So we're going to copy this and we're going to paste that in. And hit enter. And again, this is going to take some time. It's collecting all the files, all the information that it needs, and then it's going to download it and install it. So again, this takes a real long time, depending on your internet speed and your download capabilities, what's going on in your household. Some of these files are really small. Some of them are pretty good sized. Yeah, my download speed's slowing down. So I might pause this again and come back when this is completed. So when we do come back, we're going to install some LoRa files, and we're going to use a FusionXLora file to help speed up our process when we run Wan2GP. And then I think we're going to use Sage Attention 2. We're going to I'll show you how to install that. For the system that I'm running, that's what I would suggest using, given that I only have 8 gigs of VRAM on my Nvidia card. It's really on the lower end of what you're capable of doing, but I'm trying to help people that are in the same low VRAM situation here to run this as best we can, kind of. In today's experiment, we are experimenting on loading this entire suite of applications on a separate drive from our Windows drive so that we don't completely eat up our Windows drive. And I've installed a brand new NVMe SSD 4 terabyte to do that, because I think this is going to be the program that and there it is. It actually downloaded that. That's awesome. So you could run Wan2GP right now, but first I want to show you what we're going to do before we run it. You don't have to, this is kind of optional, but this is going to help you with low VRAM. So we're going to install Fusion, and we need to go to this location that's in the file that I'm providing you with. It's on Hugging Face. It's right there. And we're going to copy that. We're going to go to a browser. And we'll go into that. Show you how to do this really easily. And then you're going to click on the FusionXLora folder. And then we're running the WAN 2.1 image to video 14B FusionXLora. That's what we want. Not the text to video. We want the image to video, this one. So we're going to right click on the download. And I'll show you what folder this winds up in. I think ultimately, I guess we should have found that first, but let's go do that right now. Let's let's go to our, so we are in the G, and there's our folder Wan2GP on our G drive. Open that up, go down to LoRa's image to video. So we're in our Wan2GP folder, and right up here is the LoRa's image to video. That's where this FusionX download's gonna go. So we need to tell, when we download that, we need to tell it this location. And if you did it in your C drive, it's gonna be C drive with the Wan2GP and then the LoRa's image to video. But that's where this file goes. So I'm going to save this as G drive, click in there, find the image to video for the LoRa's, and save it. And that's as easy as that. And then when we run the program, there's a switch. I'll show you how to turn this on inside the program. And this is going to help us generate videos a lot quicker with low VRAM. So there's one other thing that we want to do, and that's the Sage attention. So we have to install. So that's going to wind up in here. And if somebody can figure out in the comments where a lot of these models, there is a models folder, but see, this isn't laid out the way I'm used to with Comfy UI. The models are laid out in Flux, High Video, LTX, Quen, Wan. So yeah, I'm just browsing around here for a second. But it's just, this is why we're putting this on a G drive as opposed to the C, because I don't know how to separate. And if you do have a formula, please by all means help us out in the comments on how to separate the big files out of this so that you could run it on the C. But I think my solution is just to put it on a drive of its own and run it from there. If this even works, we're going to find out. So get out of here. So that file's done. It's already downloaded. It's right there. Okay, so that's done. Close that. Let's go back to our prompt. And now what we're going to do is we're going to load Sage Attention 2 that's on the sheet. It's the second option for Sage Attention on the sheet. We're going to install it with pip install from GitHub. This is going to help with our low VRAM as well. Actually, first we're going to install okay, so I already have the Triton-Windows installed on my machine, but you're going to need to run pip install Triton-Windows if this is the first time. You can see mine's using it from another location where it's already installed on the machine, but you're going to want to install that first. Okay, and then we're going to install. I'm going to use the second option here from GitHub. I think it's better. So we copied that address back to the prompt, pip install, and then type that address in and hit enter. And this is going to take a while. And this is for so this is for our Cuda and our Torch variations that we're running in this virtual environment. I got Cuda 1.2.8 and the Torch is 2.7.0 and the Python version is 3.1.3.10. So to run Wan2GP the first time from this virtual environment, we're going to type, this is in the file as well, but just type Python space wgp.py space _i2v and hit enter. And this might take a little while. This is going to, if this works, it should. There's no reason it shouldn't, but again, we are not in our C drive. And be patient because this does this. It looks like it's going nowhere fast. But it does this even from the C drive. And soon that's going to come up with a URL for us. We're going to come up with a HTTP localhost 7860, and when it decides to load, you just have to be patient with these. That there's a lot of things going on in the background here. Hopefully all is well and we don't get any errors. I did get an error when I ran it on my C drive for the first time a few weeks ago. I got an MPPG or MPGG or something error, and I searched it, I Googled it, or I think I just Googled it, and the AI came up and told me where to go and download the file that I was missing. But I think they've fixed that bug in the meantime. If you go to the Wan2GP Hugging Face instructions, they should have on there anything that's going on. Yeah, you can see this is going to take a while. This is only it's just started at 3%, 4%. And we got a long ways to go. 92 megs. That's going fairly fast, but I think somebody in the house is probably watching, streaming something by now, because my download speed is about 1/10 of what it was when we started. So again, depending on the broadband of your network, household, what's happening. I like to share. I might pause this video and come back to it. When this gets to 100%, it's going to show us the link that we're going to go up and load in a browser, and we're going to be there. It looks like it's working so far. Again, we're talking about running this in the G drive, which is kind of what I would consider an external drive from our Windows operating system. because eventually this, I'll let you know if you subscribe and keep watching the videos, I'll let you know when we fill up 4 terabytes of SSD, and then where we wind up going from there. I don't know what the next step would be. I know I filled a single terabyte rather quickly between Comfy UI, Pinocchio, and Wan 2.1. It didn't take very long, but I want to go back and delete this Wan2GP off, delete this off of my C drive. So my Conda Prompt is actually running from a Pinocchio installation, it looks like. So you can see your base when you do a virtual prompt, and Anaconda is going to come out to C. Showed you how to switch that to the G drive. And then we get cloned the Wan2GP get file. So see, when you go to when you start out, normally you're going to be in base file for C. That's my users and my username. But we put G:, and we switched our base to G. Then I went back to C just to do it to make sure you can switch back and forth like that. But anyways, we switched our base for our virtual environment to G just by putting G:, in there. And then we get cloned the Wan2GP get file. For some reason I typed that wrong, so it came up with all of this nonsense here. Finally we loaded it in there the right way. Oh, we're at 77%, we're gaining. So I guess we'll wait this out. And we're going to know whether we're successful together or not here. This video is getting a little bit long-winded. So I guess it's a little busy. She doesn't want to. It's got a lot going on, and I'm asking it to look at my file system. I'm working on it, I guess. 90%. It's like watching paint dry. There she goes. All right. So there's your link. There's your http://localhost 7860, and that's going to be, so we're going to copy and paste that into a window. I got to find my other installation of Wan. It's not here. So it's users, your username, and then here's your folder Wan2GP right here. So what I want to show you before we even run this is I've already run this application in my C drive the last time I installed this. And the reason we're doing this is, if we look at this file folder, 31.8 gigabytes. I just saw it before we even opened this up. 31.8 gigabytes. And all I ran was the multi-talk 480p several times. But the same program over and over. And what that's telling me, this started out as 618 megabytes before we loaded. Let's look at this. We haven't run it yet. It's 618 megabytes, this folder, because we have not run the application yet. So there's the difference of everything you just downloaded and what you're about to download to run it in this drive. So if you were to, make multiple instances of this, or even if there's probably 25 to 30 different applications in this Wan2GP that you can run, and if every time you run them, it's going to download more stuff into the folder. I've only run one app in my C drive, and it was 31 gigs, I'm sorry. And we're at 618 megs right now before we ever loaded anything into it. But we're gonna run it right now. I'm gonna grab a browser window up here, and we're gonna paste that in. And here you go. So here's Wan2GP version 7.7777. They keep updating this. In the last 2 weeks, there's been a few versions that have come out. And the first thing that I learned over the first time was, okay, so I guess we're going back here again. So remember, 618 megabytes. This is open. I think let me just show you this. This is all the different. Oh no. What is making noise? So we're in image to video 480p. That's not where we want to be. But what I want to show you is this over here. I didn't even realize that this has a drop down. But if you click this over here, you can run Wan 2.2, LTX video, Han1 video, Flux 1, and Quen, all from this. I have no idea how many. Well, let's just click on it, I guess, because the new Wan 2.2 is crazy good. I've run this in Comfy with my 8 gig VRAM card, and it runs like in 6 minutes. I can generate something that was taking me 60 minutes before. I was using let's just click on this. Let's try this. I don't think it'll mess anything up. It's not going to download anything until you generate something. So here's the new 2.2. It's got image to video 14B. Fast Wan text image to video 5B. Oh, maybe we got to try that. We're not going to try that today. We're going to try the multi-talk in the 2.1. But I just wanted to show you that over here there's a drop down for 2.2. Okay, so 2.1, and we're going to find multi-talk 480p. Here's all the different apps that are in this. And like I said, every time you run one of these, it's going to run a different model and different files. But today we're going to run the multi-talk 480. We're going to drop a background in here. Let's put just one in there. Okay. And one person speaking. There's options there for two. Show you the different options. There's 2 speakers, auto separation of speakers, 2 speakers with speaker audio sources assumed to be playing in a row, 2 speakers assumed to be playing in parallel. So, but for today, we're going to do the one person. We're going to drop an audio file in here. I think it takes either WAV or MP3. I'm not sure all the formats that it'll take, but let's load. Find something. Oh, that's short. I want to find a short one. Come on. I think I was. Yeah, this will work. Okay, so you want to clip this, hit the clip. Drag this over the clip. And trim it. And we've got 2 seconds.
That's what your girlfriend says.
Oh boy, that'll work. I got the wrong character up there. I think that was supposed to be 0, not 1, but we're just going to leave it. 832 by 480, 480p. Got to get rid of this prompt. So we're going to do 3D Pixar style character. Oh boy, if I could type, that'd be awesome. Does spell check work? Character speaking the audio file included. Oh, nice. Spell check works. And no new characters. It likes to generate people walking in and out of there sometimes. No new backgrounds. Spelled wrong. Phew. And then a number of frames. Now this inferences, you can drop this way down. First we're gonna, let's drop this down to like 10. This is how much time it's gonna take. But I think because of what we've loaded in here, and then we're gonna go and load that LoRa in. So here's the LoRa switch. We're going to activate LoRa's. There's the LoRa that we put in that folder. Click on that. That activates that LoRa. I don't think there's anything else in the advanced that I want to mess with. Here's the guidance. Audio guidance and the shift scale. So it's suggested by the video that I watched to run 1 for this guidance, run 1. 4 on the audio guidance. That's fine. 4 is okay. And then 2 is okay for this shift scale. I tried some different settings. You can play with this and get different results, but I think the inference steps, I think where we reduce the inference steps down to 10 from 30, I think that's where a lot of the accuracy in the video comes from. But for this test today, I just want to run it, see what we wind up with. So we're going to leave that, leave those. I think we're pretty well set. You can change this sampler. Euler works. I haven't really tried. Actually, I think that is a different one than what the video I watched was, but you can change that as well. Try different settings on that. So negative prompt, I'm going to tell it right up front, no new characters. Because like I said, it likes to add weird things in there. And then no new backgrounds. red lips. For some reason with these characters that I made, it likes to put red lipstick on them or lips on them. No warped body parts. It's got a tendency for that as well. And then I think we're getting pretty close here to hitting the generate. So we got our video, got our audio, one person, 480p, 32/480. That's about the best resolution you're going to do with this card. And the first one is going to take forever. I'm going to pause the video because I know it's going to take over an hour to load all of the files into the application. So we're hitting generate, and it's loading the model multi-talk 480p for WAN 2.1. And we're going to come back to this, but I am going to pause the video because it's going to take a while. So we'll see in a little bit. Alright guys, I'm back. And as you can see, it was only an hour and 23 minutes. So it took an hour to accomplish this. Let's take a look at this. So, where are we? Here's where we ran the Python wgp.py -i and it took us a while here, and then we loaded this into the browser. So when we clicked generate in the multi-talk 480p, it downloaded all of these files. Yeah. And if you remember, when we looked at the file folder before, we were in the G drive. Oops. This folder had 618, I believe, megabytes. She now has 31.7 gigabytes. This is why we moved it to the G drive. We got it off of my C. This was an experiment. And here's our video. The video actually took 23 minutes, I think. Something like that. I don't know how many. Did we go down to 10? Yeah, we went down to 10 number of inferences steps. So between the size of the number of frames and then this inference steps, I think I'm experimenting, but I think this determines how accurate the lip sync is on these 3D or 2D characters. So here's our video.
That's what your girlfriend says.
It was 2 seconds. Much like our clip. So I think the multi-talk kind of follows the length of your clip within the realm of what you have going on here. Okay, so again, if we change this multi-talk and we run something else in here to try, which we're going to do in another video, it's going to, again, it's going to download the files, the models. Let's take a look and see what these are. So this was from Hugging Face. What is this? .onx. .onx. PTH. Path. Here's a safe tensor. Here's a model of some kind. HFX SAM. So that's Here's a JSON files. Just taking a look at this to see. But we know that it downloaded 37.4 gigs. And that's what the hour was. And you're going to find that, I think, on, here's the generation of the actual video. Not sure what the time was on that. But I know the next one's going to be a lot quicker. The next video is going to take maybe, I don't know, we'll have to do another one in the next video. But there you go, there's Wan 7.7777 by DeepBeepMeep loaded onto an external drive or a different drive for the purposes of managing the sizes of the files that you're going to wind up with once you try some of these different applications. Okay, be sure to like and subscribe. Please leave me comments, and if you have any questions at all, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one.